सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत्सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। ॐ त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनात् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् 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 You've just now chanted for the well-being of all present here, their families, as well as all those listeners and viewers around the world. This powerful mantra, which is a Vedic mantra, and is found in the Rig Veda and the Yajur Veda, whose mantra drashta, or the rishi, to whom this mantra was revealed, is sage Vashishta. A mantra is not just some words put together, but the power of the mantra is in the very vibration of the mantra itself. Sanskrit language is not a language like most language where we associate some word with some form. Maybe the old classical languages may have had a similar methodology as in Sanskrit, but Sanskrit language is the language of vibrations. And these mantras are vibration. Now, I'm sure all of you present here have studied science, at least in school. In fact, our rishis have pointed out, like the scientists are discovering today, that this whole universe is made up of vibrations. Even what you call as matter, made up of molecules, atom, electrons, protons, in fact, they're beginning to discover that everything is made up of the same matter. It's the same matter, this electrons, protons, that go to make the entire world that we know, even the entire universe. And they're trying to find out smaller and smaller and smaller particles. And when they try to examine the particles, they realize that these particles, when you observe them, they don't function like particles. They actually are nothing but energy. And therefore, the whole universe is actually energy in different states of vibration or different frequency of vibration. Therefore, every object that you observe and that which you perceive is actually a different state of or different frequency of vibration. Now, if you don't understand this, I'm sure by now you must be hearing your teenagers, or if they are grown up young adults, you want to get them married and you've even put them up on shadi.com, which they hate. But if you can't find anybody for them, or they cannot find anybody for themselves, and they've tried every dating app, and you try to matchmake them, you wonder, why is it that they're not ready to marry? The boy or the girl or the young man or the young woman, they may be good looking, highly educated, good people, good family, good reputation. So you ask your daughter or son, why aren't you getting married? Why don't you, you say he's very nice or she's very nice, but we don't vibe together. We don't click together. Haven't you heard these expressions? What do you mean vibe together? There are certain people you meet and you say, I just don't like this person's vibration. See, each person also has his or her unique vibration. This way at least we begin to experience. There are some people, and they might be sitting beside you, who have a very calming effect on you. And there are others, even when they sit beside you, they may not be moving, but there's something vibrating about them. In a house also you will find some people, no? They come home and the whole house goes upside down. And there are some that everything calms down. Everybody has got their own vibrations. In fact, every object has its own vibration also. And therefore, the whole world is expression of different frequency of vibrations. In a deeper meaning, if you want to understand what mantras mean, there are different states of vibration. That's why you wonder why only few scientists discover certain laws of nature. You know for how many years Newton dwelt on this question of falling objects? Archimedes dwelt on measuring irregular objects. There are many people who keep on making many research, but there are very few, like Einstein, etc., who discover the laws of nature. How is it possible? Is it mere accident? Our rishis did not consider this as accident. They were called rishis because they were mantra drashtas, seers. The word rishi means seer. They were the seers of these mantras. They did not create these mantras. The laws of the universe eternally exist in the form of vibrations. Everything is a vibration in this universe. And when our minds are attuned to that particular vibration, since we understand Newton, Einstein, when Newton was tuned up to the vibration of Mother Earth, to him, gravity was revealed. In the same way, gravity was known by the Indians thousands of years before. Read Taittiriya Upanishad, read commentary of Shankaracharya on Taittiriya Upanishad, more than what you study in college. Then Newton discovered gravity and gave only few laws of gravity or motion. Far before that, it was pointed out. How did these rishis discover? Let me tell you. How many of you mothers have studied psychology? Only 1, 2, 3, okay. Remaining mothers have not learned psychology, but who understands the psychology of the child better than the mother? And which of you mothers have read books on psychology, tell me? And those who have also read psychology, do you use those principles on your children? Rarely. When you attune yourself with someone or a person, does not that person's mind get revealed to you? Yeah? Even in a class, when the student and the teacher's mind are attuned with each other, then only communication of knowledge takes place. Information you can read on Google. And don't think that everything you can find out from Google. Haven't you heard that Rajnikant dialogue? When he catches the villain and says, and I won't use that word, but no, that you hear in Tamil movies a lot, R. That I will give you such a blow that you will fall so far away that even Google will not be able to find you. Yeah. So it's not that Google can find everything. Even what is your cyberspace? It's nothing but vibrations, is it not? How do you catch a voice on your phone from a distance? When you are in tune with the same vibration, you can hear the sound. Is it not? Your radio waves also are like that. Therefore, the rishis found out that everything cannot be gained by only ratifying. That's Bombay English language. I'm sure you all understand that. No? Not by rote learning. It is not by keeping on memorizing things. There's a higher method of knowing and discovering that when our minds get attuned to the universe, the mysteries of the universe get revealed to us. This is no ordinary knowledge. Sadly enough, we Indians who were the heritage of this, whose heritage this knowledge was, we were the pioneers in this method of learning and teaching. Today I'll tell you, it is easier to teach a Westerner these methods, and they are trying to find out and adopt, than our left-brained Indians brought up in British education system that has turned away or removed from our brains literally the capacity to be intuitive. Intuitive learning. I remember recently some of you must have seen the movie Infinity, or no? At least you must have heard of the great mathematician Ramanuj. The Western world still remains aghast, and go to all these Princeton and go to Columbia University, where I have interacted with professors, and they will tell you that the Indians had such mathematical formulas that can calculate the most difficult calculations in seconds in any human mind. Even a child can do it with that formula that computers would probably take hours to do. Yet they do not know how did they come to deduct. The Western world knows the method of deduction. The Indians had recognized the method of attunement, which you call as intuition. This is how the entire universe gets revealed to a person who has tuned up to the same vibration. In corporate language, don't you say, are we on the same page? Yeah? Are we on the same frequency, the same opinion? And whenever that happens, suddenly look at the synergy that comes about. Why I have to explain all these things is that this being our heritage, we have taken it for granted. We just chant these mantras without proper understanding, without proper faith, not even with the proper manner, and really speaking, not valuing it. Pujya Gurudev had told us one beautiful story, and that was that one farmer, while he was plowing his field, hit upon a big shining rock. It was glowing in the sunlight. He did not really know what it was. Happened to be a big piece of diamond. And such a big piece of diamond, such a rock of diamond, was indeed very precious. Yet, he did not know what to do with it, for he had no idea of its value. Since that rock was shining in the sunlight, he tied it onto the cow. Because the cows go grazing sometimes on the hills and you can't see them, but if this rock is there, it will shine, and from a distance you'll be able to recognize that the cow is here or there. One day, a jeweler was passing from there. From a distance he could see this object shining, and from the glow of it, from the colors that it was radiating, he was curious. He went there and sees and is horrified to see that such a big diamond is hanging on the neck of a cow. Luckily, the farmer was standing nearby, so he could not steal it. Spoke to the farmer and said, can you give me this? So the farmer said, what will you give me for it? So he said, I'll give you 100 rupees for it. For a farmer at that time, 100 rupees was a lot. And when the farmer took out that big shining rock and gave it to him, he's a jeweler. He's a gemologist. Yeah. He's done his GIA from America. Yeah. And he's waiting to get it in his hand. He recognizes a diamond even from a distance. But the moment he tried to hold that piece of diamond, it fell off from his hand, fell onto a rock, and shattered into pieces, into smithereens. Yeah. And just after he had bought it for 100 rupees. Now he very well knew it was a diamond, and diamond being the hardest substance on earth after your tooth. And if you can ruin your tooth with Coca-Cola, it's the hardest substance on earth. He knows it was a diamond, but when he tried to hold it, it slipped from his hand and broke into fine dust, literally. And he said, what happened? The diamond said, how could I bear this insult? He said, insult? I recognized you as a diamond, and this man tied you as a cow, on a cow. He said, this man tied me on a cow. I mean, that's insulting maybe for a diamond, but he did not know my value. You who knew me my value brought me for 100 rupees. Dil ke tukde tukde kar diye. We Indians have not valued our heritage and lost that knowledge, that culture. And really speaking, even the greatest asset you had genetically, a very well-wired brain. And this is not just shooting off anything from the hat. The rishis who discovered these mantras revealed to their students, and mantras by themselves are vibrations. Just like earth is called as Bhumi, one of the names of earth, Prithvi, Bhumi. And Gayatri mantra you will study, Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha. Bhu, the sheer heaviness of it. Bhuva, the lightness of it. Suvaha. You can even just feel the vibration. The vibration itself reveals to us what it means. The gross earth is called as Bhu. The vibration of it is Bhu. When your mind attunes to that vibration, then only the real essence of that object, that element, that person gets revealed to you. This is what our rishis call as knowledge, not what we perceive, because what we perceive Each one perceives differently. Just to point, now if you don't understand, don't worry. This is science. This is Vedic science. Yeah. This is what a mantra is. To bring that mind of yours to that vibration, the mantra's vibration, by which the power in the mantra gets revealed to you. And generally in devotion it is said that those who chant the mantra or meditate upon the mantra for so many millions of times, then the devata of the mantra appears in front of you. Yeah? The devata appears in front of you. So which means if you chant Trayambaka mantra, what will happen? The one with the three eyes, Lord Shiva, will appear in front of you. This is how it is said. And whenever Bhagwan appears in front of you, what happens afterwards? You can ask him whatever you want, but only one boon. Yeah? Generally that's how it is if you've read the Puranas and all that. And then one boon you will get. And you can ask for anything. You can even ask for moksha if you want to. But most people will ask for what? Asking from Bhagwan what you can make a consultant do. Yeah? We will ask only for something that is limited. This is a common understanding today we have of the power of mantra. Really speaking, what is it that God can do that I cannot do? So we don't even care about it these days. Each mantra has its devata. Now this word devata we understand translated in English as its God. And then we say the Hindus have got many gods. And then we confuse our children and the children say we got many gods. Now which God is more powerful than the other? Which is better than the other? All this confusion comes in. Shankaracharya in his commentary on Ishavasya Upanishad clearly points out that conscious principle that guides our senses and gives power to our senses, he calls that as devata. Pujya Gurudev in his commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, if you read 3rd chapter, he has said that in any field of your work, for example, IT, many of you are in probably IT. Each field has got its own potential, is it not? One who invokes that potential can bring out prosperity, etc. from that field of work. For example, from engineering you can't bring about good health, but by medicine you can bring out good health or not. No? Just to make you understand what is the potential of the field. Now you know also each one of you have your own potential, and each one, especially parents, feel that children are not living up to their potential. No? If you are a manager in a company, you feel your team is not living up to their potential. How do you bring out that potential in that field? When you start off a business, you always feel that this business will bring about a lot of profits or certain type of work. Don't you do that? In your marriage, when you got married, you thought there was great potential. Now you find out there is nothing in it. When we invoke that potential to that mantra, which means what? when our mind starts vibrating with the same frequency, that potential, that devata gets revealed to us. And who is the devata of this mantra? Triambakeshwar, Lord Shiva, the very Lord of life and death. So he gets revealed to us. That power, that force, that entity, that devata, that God gets revealed to us, which we normally cannot see. We say God is everywhere, but we cannot see. The mysteries of the universe are there right in front of us. Once you know it, you think it's so obvious. Why would objects fall down? Yeah? But till you know it, it remains a mystery. And once you know the mystery of it, see what all you can do with it. I'm trying to point out to you that don't take these mantras that, okay, out of belief, I'll do the mantra, then God will appear, then God will give me what I want. That Lord of that mantra becomes visible to you when your mind vibrates at that level, gets attuned up to that level. This is the depth understanding of a mantra. So, every mantra has got his mantra drashta. Who else? The very guru of Ramchandraji, Vashishji. And of course, in the Vedas, well known to be such a great rishi. When he gives out certain mantra to us, that cannot be an ordinary mantra. So these mantras were revealed to them. They reveal these mantras to us, and with the regular and continuous proper repetition of these mantras, our minds reach that level of super high vibrations, where even the subtlest mysteries, powers of the universe get revealed to us. Each of these mantras are in a certain meter. Just like what we call Gayatri mantra, it is the Gayatri meter. This mantra is in Anushtup Chanda. Therefore, those who do properly the Nyas, etc., you have to invoke the Rishi, you have to invoke the very Chanda, the meter in which it is. Yeah? You have to invoke the deity who is worshipped in the mantra also. And every mantra has its feminine power, the Shakti, the power behind it. So the conscious principle is the deity. And the power behind it, it's his Shakti. And the Shakti of this mantra is Mata Amriteshwari, the mother that bestows immortality. And therefore, before you even chant the mantra, these all are invoked so that we understand the power behind the mantra, what we gain what is the highest gain of the mantra, that you attain immortality. And that way you conquer death itself. See how when they reveal the mantra, so when we have mind, so at first mantra is a vibration. Even if you do not know the meaning of the mantra, it is the vibration that when your mind tunes itself up with. Now tell me, how many of you understand any word in the modern songs. Today, whether they are English songs or Hindi Tamil song. Dun 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 dun, something goes on. Do you understand any word? But it can make you get up and dance or not. Huh? The vibration. You may not understand, but you know it is a vibration to dance. Those of you understand ragas. In Carnatic music, because of the great Tyagaraja, there are so many words. But if you know in Hindustani music only, and you can think there's rain falling, there is evening time. The vibration that creates that mood in your mind. Therefore, the vibration, say, of Gayatri Mantra or Trayambaka Mantra itself creates a certain mood, a certain attunement in the mind. Know that Valmiki Ratnakar Daku did not even know who Ram is. Shabri did not even know who Ram is. They just chanted Ram, 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 Ram. That Ram appeared for them. And they recognized Ram. So understand that these mantras are vibration. Even the mere proper chanting of these mantras will have its effect on your health, your body, your mind, your atmosphere, just like music has. But the mantra becomes even more powerful when you have devotion, because then your concentration is also there. Your faith, your Shraddha is also there. Your continuity is there because of that Shraddha or that faith. So when it is enhanced with your devotion to the very deity or your dedication to the very deity of the mantra, that mantra then gets an added power, and you know that physical power is there. But when there is bhavana, feeling or emotions, and the highest of emotions being love, if it is there, how much more power comes into it? Now tell me, if you are singing here, Gurudeva Tava Mahaniya Kripa, I might be in Swara. But there is no feeling in it. No? When you sing, Gurudeva Tava Mahaniya Kripa. See, both might be in Swara. The Swara will have its... But when that bhavana and that feeling is added to it, it adds another dimension to it. Therefore, these mantras should be chanted with Shraddha and Bhakti. However, there is another deeper dimension to these mantras. Unfortunately, most initiations that take place in this world, secret initiations, only for certain type of people, not even proper chanting of the mantras are taught. Then they say, I met my guru, I've got an initiation, now what? Guru is going to take you there. That's how they have the feeling. Whole world gets hoodwinked. But when the Guru reveals to us the insight into that mantra, the depth into that mantra, the meaning of the mantra, not only how to chant the mantra, the Shraddha and the Bhakti in that mantra, but also its deeper meaning. then the mantra becomes the mantra for contemplation that reveals to you the absolute truth, the highest state. In this sense, if you take this mantra, for common people, this mantra is just a powerful mantra to ward off diseases, untimely death, suffering, etc., which we have seen yesterday elaborately as to what we call as death. And even the mere chanting of it, even without meaning, really speaking, even without Shraddha, it has its own power. And therefore there are people who do it and find miracles happening. That people know, whether you do Hanuman Chalisa, whether you sing Hanuman Chalisa, how many people know the meaning of it? Not even the simple meaning of it. Then when we understand the simple meaning of this mantra, as we have seen, that I worship, I adore, I sacrifice to the one with three eyes, Trayambakam, Yajamahe, I worship. Who is Sugandhim, who is fragrant, means one who is beautiful, enchanting, Satyam Shivam Sundaram, and Pushti Vardhanam, who nourishes our growth or makes us grow. And it's like a simple prayer that please free me from death. Mrityor Mukshiya. And free me not with difficulties, not with a struggle, but urvarukamiva bandhanat. Just as a ripe cucumber is freed from the creeper, same way free me from my bondage, that which is limiting me, that which is holding on to me. Free me from this limitation of death. And Maha Amritat. Please, may I never fall away from immortality, or let me not depart from this world without attaining immortality. It's a simple prayer with feelings when we do, especially when there is death in the family or illness in the family, or there is fear of death. Naturally, it is a great prayer that gives us strength and consolation. But besides that, for highly advanced students of Vedanta, these mantras are complete shastra or scriptures in themselves. In fact, they are Mahavakyas that reveals the identity of the Jiva with the Paramatma. To recognize your oneness with that Shiva. And at this moment we are not capable to even imagine or fathom those high depths or heights. Therefore, we pray to Lord Shiva, who is the conqueror of death. Mrtyunjaya Bhagwan, we pray to him. Now, those who chant this mantra quieten their mind, and with devotion when they chant, and therefore holding on to the great Lord who brings about victory over death, those who have purified their mind, quieten their mind, such minds are now ready for higher contemplation, meditation. It is those students who are then initiated into the contemplation of this mantra. And contemplation, we have to understand the meaning of the mantra. You say, what is there to understand? Trayambakam means the Lord with 3 eyes. So we are quite happy to see Shivji with 3 eyes. And we also wonder, hey, where's the third eye? Then people say, here, here, here. And then we make a picture of Lord Shiva. Now the whole question is, the third eye is like this or the third eye is like this? If it's like this, he will have a completely, with these 2 eyes like this only, we get different, little cockeyed, you get different vision. Now suppose the eye moves up and down like this, it'd be even more peculiar, is it not? Do you mean to say some physical eye here? And there are people, even till today, go on the internet. For a few $1,000s, you can get your third eye opened over the internet. And if somebody even for about $20,000 can open your third eye very cheap, go, get it done. But however, you can't sue them because you can, because now I've opened your third eye. Now you have to practice so that you levitate. Add some cushions under you and a pump under you, you will levitate anyway. You don't have to open your third eyes for it. What is this third eye? And who is this one with the third eye? 2 physical eyes all of us have. Don't we? 2 physical eyes we have, and with that we perceive the world. We see the world. And whatever we see with our eyes, is it real? But we say seeing is believing. Let me tell you, ask you a question. What was the color of the sky today? You've been having fine days, is it not? What was the color of the sky? Can tell it? Blue. All of you saw it blue, is it not? I also saw it as blue. Everyone saw it as blue. Did anybody see it as green, yellow? Everybody saw it as blue or not? We saw the sky as blue with these 2 eyes of ours. But is the color of the sky blue? Tell me. Is it blue? You mean to say that someone paints the sky blue in the morning, then in the evening turns it into orange, red and yellow, and then paints it black, and I tell you, the roof of the sky is very old. It's become very holy. It's got plenty of holes. And grandmothers say, you see, those are the lights of the heavens coming from it. And then in the morning turn it purple, and then in few seconds turn it blue. I tell you, God must be too busy just painting the sky. That's why He's got no time for any one of you. We know that we see through our eyes the sky as blue, yet don't we know that the sky does not have any color? With what eye do you see that? Is it not until and unless in school your teacher revealed to you how and why the sky has got no color, and why do you see it as blue? So with what eye did you see it as blue? With these physical eye. Which eye did you see it to be? Not blue. That is called as the eye of knowledge. I do not know if you grandparents, nowadays the children play the games with you, and that your arthritic fingers can't do anything with it. So they enjoy winning over you. But grandparents used to play such interesting games with children. I don't know if any one of you have done. And nowadays children, though, I tell you, they're baby Einsteins. They'll just look at you and... One grandfather was showing his grandson. You see this spoon? Yeah. See the spoon? He said, yeah. Let's put it into the water. The child feels it's a nice game. He puts it into the water. And grandfather said, what did you do? Look at the spoon. It's bent. Little child sees bent. He knows his mom. He is going to get too for bending the silver spoon. And grandfather, and more than that, he is afraid is that she will shout at grandfather. So he says, grandfather, we are in trouble. We both are in trouble. He says, now we are in big trouble. Now what do we do? Okay, let's close your eyes. Let's do Trayambakam. Do, and then you take out the spoon. See, magic, kids become straight. And the child says, great. Till he becomes about 7 years old. And he can play this game with grandfather. You see the spoon bent because of the polarization of light in two mediums, the air and the water. And therefore you see one reflection reaching earlier, the other reflection later. So you physically see it. But with what eyes do you see it still as straight and not bent? That is called as the eye of knowledge. That is your third eye. Not some eye here, which somebody touches, presses, and they say, now I've given you the third eye, and now what, you'll start levitating. It's the eye of knowledge. Jnana eva chakshuhu. Knowledge itself is the eye by which we can see what we cannot see with the two physical eyes. You see matter. With what eyes did Einstein see every matter as energy? That is called as the eye of knowledge. That's the third eye. We have got two physical eyes. We see, but what we see is not necessarily real. The one with the third eye means the Lord who knows. And the three eyes of Lord Shiva, when we conceived of the Lord, it was not just the creator. If someone creates and does not sustain, then creation cannot exist. We did not just take him as the sustainer alone, because no creation is possible without destruction, like we have seen yesterday. Your youth cannot be born until and unless your childhood dies. Your adulthood cannot be born till your youth dies. So how? And therefore, this Trinity, the creator, the sustainer, the destroyer. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Generator, ordainer, destroyer, God. Even in English. And this Lord, who can see life and even that which lies beyond this life and beyond death, that Lord is the one with three eyes. Now, in the Puranas, these are all dramatized so beautifully in the form of stories. Because then we'll understand why should we invoke the Lord with three eyes. We said we want to get over suffering, don't we? And yet we chase every suffering. Like Sita ji wanted the deer. We chase every fleeting objects with the hope of getting permanent happiness from it. Temporary pleasures you can get, but permanent happiness? And yet our life goes chasing that fast, fleeting glitter of joy with the hope to get permanent, everlasting happiness. That's the story of Lord Shiva is. That he sits reveling in his true nature. The perfect meditator. And he is sitting in meditation, but the Lord of the senses, Indra Devata, who's the Lord of your senses? Is your mind. And this mind wants to distract you. So creates a complete entourage of Kamdev, Rati, Ramba, Samba. I tell you, what names. Yeah. And the whole drama is, otherwise it will never become a drama. Yeah. They come, they dance, exotic dances they do. And finally, Cupid, Kamdev, the Lord of desire, the Lord of lust, he shoots from his bow that arrow which is made up of flowers. But I tell you, great mighty warriors like Dashrath Maharaj could take arrows made of iron and steel, but the flowery glances of his wife, this flower arrows that he shoots to invoke in him desire for Parvati, matter, nature. And that's why we'll all start with, isn't it natural? Yeah, it is nature, it is natural, organic, pure. Yeah. But nature is that which constantly keeps on changing. Yet we do not have the wisdom. And anything we see glittering, fascinating, golden, beautiful, our minds pull our intellect to decide, I want it. And once you want it, you will struggle, you will strive, you will chase it till you get it. And when you get it, how temporary is it? I tell you, Gurudev was such a master teacher. Even as youngsters, when we used to go and, of course, we used to listen to his discourses on the Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita as youngsters only. We were all 19 and 20 when we used to listen to him. At the same time, we would love basically hanging out with him. Yeah. Going for every bhikshas, wherever we stopped for breakfast, lunch, dinner, we used to just go and hang around with him. And as youngsters, we had no qualms. Wherever Gurudev would, we wanted to be with him. So we just go, uncle, where is your, what's your address? We used to know that Gurudev is going to their house. And they would give us the address. If it was aunties, they would say, why you want? But uncles, they would give the address. And we used to land up there. And Gurudev used to see the youngsters, oh, my children have come here, come here, sit. Because we used to be full of questions, he used to laugh with us, talk to us. Because the adults, and the guests are coming. He is the chief guest. Oh, Swamiji, we are waiting for so-and-so to come to give you. Are? So they are busy entertaining all the guests. So we youngsters used to sit around Gurudev. And soon, all these adults started thinking, this is not right. These youngsters monopolize the Swami. Who was stopping them from coming and asking questions? Who was stopping them from coming and sitting with Gurudev? It's their house, they could have done it. But they remain so inhibited or distracted, and when we are sitting, now they are jealous. We don't get time to spend with Swamiji. Gurudev was called also Swamiji at that time. So we can't spend with Swamiji. So then, our group coordinator, he put a ban on us. He said, unless you are invited, you are not going. You are not going for these bhikshas. Now, Gurudev was used to seeing us at every bhiksha. For one full day, did not see us at the bhiksha. That evening, he saw us in the halls and called us. He said, you fellows, where have you all been all day? And we were already working at that time. So, in spite of that, we used to go work, run for every bhiksha, run for every talk. And he said, where have you all been? Now, we boys were quiet, but will the girls keep quiet? They went and told. Swamiji, we have been banned from the bhikshas. He just turned around and he said, these my youngsters don't come here to eat food in your house. They come there to be with me. And where I go to anybody's house, it's my house at that time. And if you do not want that, then I'm not coming to your house. When he roared, everybody used to tremble. So then we were nicely, no, it's not like you're not banned, but you should have some consideration. It's after all their bhiksha, so they should spend time with it. So one of the youngsters decided, well, if you have bhiksha, then only you can have the Swami. So okay, they had the bhiksha in their home and they didn't want to tell the adults, you don't come. Conveniently, it was on a Sunday morning because most adults would not come for the early morning bhiksha. So after Kathopanishad class, we went to that house, only youngsters were there, and she had requested her parents that let it be only for youngsters. These adults go and spoil everything. Let it be only for youngsters. But that day, Gurudev had a bit of a congestion. The weather was very cold, humid, so he had a bit of a congestion. So he was quiet, he has already spoken for 1.5 hours, and we had our discrimination that even he needs to be, he also needs a rest sometime. So even though this was an exclusive youth bhiksha, we allowed him to be quiet. So we were singing bhajans and we didn't talk much. So almost for an hour we were sitting there. Gurudev did not say, we didn't ask any questions. And he was just about to get up and leave. The lady of the house said, Swamiji, you've got a congestion. May I make you a hot drink? He ate breakfast very little. May I make you a hot drink? So he nodded his head. So she said, what do I make? Should I make tea, coffee? And then she said, Swamiji, I can make proper South Indian filter coffee. She was from South, but she was not a South Indian per se from there. But she said, I can make a South. So he nodded his head. She went inside. Sometimes it's called as delaying tactics, which means till that tipuk, 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 from that small little steel thing, tipuk, 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 tipuk falls. So we were quite happy. We were sitting there for 20 minutes till that cup of coffee came. Of course, she didn't bring it in a tumbler, steel tumbler. She brought it in a proper crockery. This is Hong Kong, okay? She brought it in that crockery and she gave it to Gurudev. Gurudev drank it, and everything he did, just sheer watching him was meditation. Everything he did was like meditation, even how he drank the coffee. And he didn't have all these, English kind of. So first he drank the coffee, tasted the coffee, poured it on the saucer, slurped it, and that time we were studying in the Yuva Kendra. We were reading Manual of Self-Unfoldment. We were even discussing in class that how happiness is not in sense objects, because if happiness was in sense objects, it would give happiness to all the people at all the period of time. Just like sweetness is the nature of sugar, it is sweet to everybody at all times. In the same way, if happiness was the nature of objects, it would give happiness to everybody at all times. I mean, where can you find such logic? And Gurudev drinks that cup of coffee and says, whoever said there is no happiness in sense objects? And goes on drinking that coffee. And we like, a mouth gaping open, not because of the coffee. So what did he just say? See, don't be a hypocrite. Yeah? We all find some happiness in sense objects, don't we? Even if it's not coming from there, but we find it. And therefore we get attached to the sense object or not. Because we feel it, we experience it. Don't tell me if somebody comes and gives you nice, at this moment, some delicious, what I'm not saying. Whatever, you imagine something. Already, some of you thought pizza, somebody thought you something. No. Don't tell me my mouth would not water, you would not feel that. No? So Gurudev drank that cup of coffee and dropped his cup of coffee there, and he was walking out, and from the door again he looked at us and we were still like stunned. He said, whoever said there is no happiness in sense objects, however, it is only temporary. Even if that Einsteinian intellect we have, at least we recognize that how fleeting are the joys in the objects and how much we struggle and suffer to get it. We get it, it is so fleeting, and again we want more of it, for which we struggle, and whole life goes for these fleeting joys, when we could discover the source of infinite happiness. How do we get to know it? That is the eye of knowledge. Therefore, when Lord Shiva looks at Kamdev, with his third eye open, we think like it's so dramatic in dance, when they do that Arangetram, Lord Shiva then opens his eyes. Everybody goes, ah. And Kamdev burns down to ashes. Very beautifully dramatized in a picture form. It is with the eye of knowledge that you can find out whether that object, however tasty it may be, is good for your health or not. So don't think the third eye is some magical knowledge. It's a magical eye. All of you have got it. Not only when you can see auras. At the moment you will see many different color auras around me. You can't see it. You must be blind, even with the two eyes, because there are colored lights on me. Blue light, red light. That is not third eye alone. This eye of knowledge. Therefore, as Ishvara, the Lord of the universe, his three eyes, the first eye is the eye of discrimination. The eye of justice. Because as Ishvara, he is karma phala data also. And as per our actions, he has to give us the result of action. It is not partial, not according to his whims and fancies. This is called as the eye of discrimination. And even we have to hire have that eye of discrimination to judge what is right and what is wrong, and what will be the consequences of these actions. If even that basic vision we do not have of life, good and bad even animals can see for them. We've even lost the capacity to know what is good food for us or bad food for us. This eye of discrimination is the first eye of Lord Shiva. And as a ruler, you have to have this eye of discrimination to give everybody the just result. But he also has the eye of compassion. Because to be fair, you have to be just. But at the same time, if you are only just, you will be perceived as sometimes cruel. A leader has to be. A ruler has to be. But no punishment is given to harm. It is only to correct. Therefore, the eye of compassion. And therefore, he is the Lord of forgiveness. Ashutosh Bhagwan, the eye of compassion, and the third eye of knowledge and wisdom. And we invoke the Lord with the three eyes and invoke, adore, praise, worship, meditate on the Lord with the three eyes, so that we also have the capacity to be able to discriminate. We also view our juniors and others with the eye of compassion and have the wisdom to see beyond the direct perception. See? Therefore, Trayambakam, the Lord with the three eyes. But this word Trayambakam has got many, that's the beauty of Sanskrit language. It's got many facets. Amba also means father, and father means Swami, master. So Trayambaka means one who is the master of the three. Three. You can say of the three worlds, the nether regions, the earthly and the heavenly. That is the simple meaning. So he is the Lord of the three worlds. Also, we have got three bodies: the gross body, this body, mind and intellect, the subtle body, and our causal body made up of our deep-rooted beliefs, our ignorance, where our identity seed lies. Causal body. He is the Lord of these three bodies. Therefore, Trayamba. He is the Lord of these three bodies. He is the Lord of the three worlds. Because this body, mind and intellect can function how? Only when there is this presence of this life-giving force or factor. Trayambakam also the three states. The waking state, the dream state, and deep sleep state. All these three states are negated in the other states. In the waking state, the perceiver, feeler, thinker who experiences the world of objects, emotions, and thoughts, the world of this gross objects, this ego identity of yours, whether you're a man or a woman, whether you belong to a certain caste, creed, race, nationality, color, profession, all this is there in the waking state. In the dream state, you can be something totally different, isn't it? That's why, every married man sees in his dream state that he is a bachelor. And then wakes up to the nightmare. So does she. Yeah. The waker is not there in the dreamer, and the dreamer is not there in the deep sleeper. When you identify with the body, you are the waker. When you identify with only the subtle body, you are the dreamer. When you identify with the causal body, you are the deep sleeper. Who is the Lord of these three states? In the waking state, this ego of yours, the waker, is the Lord. In the dream state, this Lord is not present. Dreamer is totally different. Rich man can appear poor, a poor man can appear rich. In the deep sleep, all of them are absent. I know nothing at all. But who is present in all these three states, unnegated, is the Lord of the three states. In the waking state, I am conscious. In the dream state, I am conscious. In the deep sleep state, I am conscious. This consciousness, which is present in all the three states, and without which the three states cannot even be recognized, or we can function in the three states, is that pure consciousness who is the Lord with the three eyes, Shiva. Therefore we say Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. So Trayambakam. See, both Sagun and Nirgun. Yeah. The Lord with attributes and the transcendental without attributes. Both are revealed in this word Trayambakam. Ishvara, the Lord with the eye of and wisdom, and as Nirguna, the one who transcends all the three states, forms and experiences, is Trayambakam. We experience this world as existing, is it not? Therefore, the cause of the world must be existent. And one who is present in all the three states, all the three states, is what is called unnegated in the three states, is what is called as Sat, the truth, existence. And what is that? The consciousness, the awareness. So actually the whole mantra reveals the Sat Chit Ananda, but even this one word reveals, by saying Trayambakam, the one who is unnegated in the three states, therefore Sat, one who is the Lord of the three states, the seer of the three states, and therefore the pure consciousness or Chit. And this word Trayambakam can be also broken up into three, Amba, Kam. And the word Kam is an indeclinable. Therefore that which is permanent. So the one who is the Lord of the three changing states, but who himself is permanent. And in Chandogya Upanishad, the word Kam has been revealed as Sukham. And therefore, that one who is of the nature of Sukha or Ananda. So who is that Lord? Not someone who is sitting on Mount Kailash. Everybody goes on Kailash Yatra, no? Have you seen Lord Shiva there? That Shiva that you go searching at Mansarovar and Kailash is possible to be seen when your mind becomes as still as Mansarovar. And when in that mind you see the reflection of that consciousness, undistorted, that is the vision of the Lord of Kailash. And that is what is meant by Yajamahe, which we shall reveal to you tomorrow. That how do we worship, how do we meditate, how do we attune, and how do we recognize this Lord of Kailash. That will be the theme tomorrow and the further meaning of it. And finally, how we can end all our sorrows, bondage and death. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyama Vritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyama Vritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyama Vritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyama Vritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyama Vritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyama Vritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyama Vritat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyama Vritat. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Before you leave today, I have the privilege of releasing a new book that was released by Guruji on the day he handed over the mission activities. It's called storm to perform. In life, we have to face many difficulties, challenges, etc. How does this Vedantic knowledge and training help us to face the various crises of life, whether we face in the family or whether we face in our professional life or social life? So it's a beautiful book, Storm to Perform. Meaning, when storms come, we generally give up. But how can we perform in a storm? How we can harness the form of a storm? And how can we storm into the world to perform? So that is what this book is all about. And there's another thing that I'm going to release today, which is a very rare, because it being so vast and large, generally to give discourses on the Mahabharata. And Mahabharata raises a lot of questions because it's meant to. But we go only, instead of finding answers, we go ah, ooh. I had an opportunity for taking a whole camp for young adults on the theme of the Mahabharata, which has come out as a DVD on Mahabharata. A rare compilation of the stories dealing with all the issues and the questions that we have from the Mahabharata, and how does it apply to us in life. These discussions in the Mahabharata. So these are available. Of course, the Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra book also is available, and many other CDs on various topics. We spoke today about Lord Shiva. Like that, our rishis have given us many deities. And very often, we are also confused about it. At the same time, those who worship Lord in a particular form, they want to know really how to meditate, what do these stories mean, which is the mantra. Again, there was a camp that we conducted called as 7 Days, 7 Powers. Excellent even for our youth. So those set of 7 CDs are also available on each of the deity that we dedicate to each day of the week. But each reveals to us certain potential in each one of us and how we can bring it into performance. Potential to performance, which were talks given to, again, people so that they can perform in their offices, etc., in their life. And those talks are general talks given, but from potential to performance. This complete series of talks and CDs are available. They have become very, very popular in the world because of how beneficial it is, and also especially not only for all of you, but even for your youth. It has an appeal, it has got an application, and these are some treasures you can take home. So we'll see you tomorrow. Please keep spreading the word. Try to be here on time. We will chant the Maha Mrtyunjaya mantra also, so the power of the chanting also benefits everyone. And tomorrow we will also go into the guided meditation of this mantra as we reveal each word and the connection of the mantra, of each mantra. And then you'll recognize how this mantra reveals to you the absolute in you, your truth, your true nature. See you tomorrow. Hari Om.
Hari Om. I've been asked by Swamiji to just give a very small introduction to our study groups here at Kedar and Madhuvan. How many people here before I start, how many people here are attending a study group in Kedar or in Vrindavan? Can I? That's a fair number. Okay, I'll just give a very quick introduction to it. So yesterday, Gayatri talked very well about what our Balavihars are, how we like to catch the kids young, give them our culture, tradition, values. But for those of us who slipped through the cracks and became adults without going through Balavihar, there is still hope, and that hope is the study group. So last year, I was made at work to attend a course on how to teach effectively. Basically, it was about how students learn and how, as teachers, we can make the students learn better. And it was a very long, tedious course for 6 months, every day, weekly classes for that. The final conclusion was that you give the students an idea and then split them up into small groups and allow them to discuss the idea that was given so that the idea sinks up deeper into them. Now, this technique was taught by Gurudev to us half a century ago. I was asking Swamiji yesterday, when was study group actually started? He said probably in the 1950s in Chennai, maybe. For a subjective science and abstract concepts, I think there is no better way of understanding it than study groups. So we do exactly what I told you. We take, as Gurudev planned it for us, we take a small text, we read it, study it together, and then we discuss it and beat the idea to death. Ideas can also die, by the way. So this interaction among us, for the speakers, for the people who are actually trying to explain the idea, it helps it sink into us. And for the people who are listening to it, it is a source of inspiration. I strongly urge all adults to please attend these study groups. We have it at the same time as the Balavihar goes on Sundays in the mornings. And Gurudev has actually given us a scheme of what books to go through also. And time and again, we also listen to Gurudev's videos and then discuss on that too. And importantly, it is free. Everybody is welcome to attend, and please make your earnest efforts to attend it. Interested people, please contact me or look at, leave your email IDs with the desk, and we will email you with further details. Hari Om. Thank you.
Hari Om. Before you all leave, just to let you know, we have food packets outside. And on Friday, please make sure all of you are here to have Samast Bhiksha. And we will have a special Bhiksha for Swamiji also. So make sure you're here and join everybody on Friday for Samast Bhiksha. Thank you. Hari Om.